Ni hao from Beijing. I'm back, and today I'm bringing you a fresh new buzzword topic. And I have my friend here, Devon, who's gonna share with us some insights about AI and big data and its application within the Chinese market. So, hi, Devon.
Hi, Makeda.
Hey, could you tell us a little bit your background?
Yeah, so I'm currently a customer success manager at AppsFire. It's a third-party software to help marketers to track their advertising on mobile apps.
Okay.
So that's what I do full-time, but I also run a community to help
Oh
people.
yeah, that's actually how we met. Devon
Yeah.
is like a community builder, which is something in China. Maybe you can tell us what is it about, your WeChat group?
Yeah, so the group is called Beijing Foodies. So we bring people together from different industries, technology, finance, design, education, and we through seminars, talks, and also social events to help people learn and connect. So it's a very exciting community of young internationals.
I'm just impressed how this kind of communities are important within China. Maybe could you say why do you think you have this kind of gatherings that we don't really have in Europe?
Right. I think in Europe or America, there are a lot of meetups as well. But the reason why I started this group is because China is getting more international, and also Beijing. There are a lot more expats and also Chinese who studied overseas coming back. It's a good idea to bring them together to help them learn from what's going on outside of China.
And basically, you are also not like 100% typical Chinese guy. I would say that you are one of these sea turtles who studied in America, right? And then came back to Beijing.
Right.
Maybe interesting to share with us, like why, how does it feel like studying in US and then coming back to Beijing? Maybe why you didn't stay in US? Like.
Right. Yeah, for me, it's a very interesting story. I actually started started working internship in the US first before I studied. Then I realized it's a great place to be, to learn and to get education from there. So I decided to transfer my school after sophomore to I decided to go to US to finish my bachelor's degree. And then I came back to China mainly because I wanted to do business not just in one country, maybe between US and China. I can do much more than just within US or within China. Because I speak English, I speak also Chinese, so it might be a good idea.
That's vital, right?
To being a bridge. Yeah.
And especially in your industry, because I just read an article that basically China is becoming the leader of the digital transformation, and 85% of Chinese companies have somehow implied the AI in their business model.
Right.
And I would say that even from like a personal perspective, I can feel it within many features that are in our phones, like face recognition, in Alipay, etc. So maybe could you share with us some interesting examples of Chinese companies that widely use AI?
Sure. Yeah. So from the implementation of AI, I think China is definitely at the age of in the world, because China has so much data. We have more than 800 million internet users. Because the core of AI is data, algorithm, and also computing ability. So once you have this amount of data, you can train your models and to do much more sophisticated products. So for example, there's a company called ByteDance.
ByteDance?
Yeah. One of their product is called Douyin, in English called TikTok.
The video app.
Yeah, the video app. It's famous because not just because the content's very interesting, but also the way they recommend videos to the users. It's based on a recommendation engine, which is backed by AI technology. Yeah, so this is one example from the consumer product side, how companies are using AI. And on the business to business side, for example, there are companies. There's one called SenseTime. They use facial recognition technology to apply into retail, to maybe security. Like
this is amazing.
Yeah, like facial recognition based payment, etc. So those are examples of how Chinese companies are using AI.
Yeah, that's massive. So basically, the most important is the data set.
Yeah,
so the
the
data
data.
set is huge in China, right?
Right,
And
right.
as everybody uses the phones, it's very easy to gather the information. And I agree that the face recognition, it's quite disrupting because I'm just at the store shopping, paying with my QR code, and just by looking at my iPhone bag, I can directly pay. Only thing I must mention here is that when the air is not really good and I'm wearing my mask, I cannot really use this nice feature of face recognition.
Yeah,
right?
I hope someday they can recognize
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah. Even with
or
the
without
mask,
the mask.
yeah. There should be like two options.
Yeah.
Agree. At the moment, Beijing it's booming and there are so many startups. Why is it?
Right. So in China, there's a term called 高新企业, which means high-tech enterprise. It's a government certified type of enterprise. You can apply through local government. And in Beijing, I think Beijing has more than 30% of the total high-tech enterprise.
In one city.
Certified by the government. In terms of AI and big data, I think there are more than 70-80% of companies are based in Beijing. The reason why, I think mainly because of talent, because only Beijing has the talent that
coming up from the schools, the universities that are here.
Universities,
the Tsinghua,
Peking University, and also talents coming from different parts of the world.
That's what I wanted to ask you. If someone from Europe has an idea or would like to cooperate with Chinese startups, do you think there's like possibilities, or is there any platform to apply or any community to join? What would you recommend to someone like that from Europe?
Yeah, so China is very open now to in terms of accepting foreign investment or foreign technology startups. I think the best way is to go into local communities. There are some very nice community like Startup Grind and also like
Startup Grind is actually run by Google, right?
Yeah, it's sponsored by Google, but it's also a non-profit community around the world. Startup Grind Beijing chapter is very active.
TechNote, I just realized I just come across to the TechNote, another platform, very interesting to follow. So maybe contact one of these and try to see whether there would be any possibility of cooperation.
Definitely, yeah. That's one way. Another way is to work with the local government. For example, Tesla, they just opened a big factory in Shanghai.
Wow.
They actually work with the government in order to do that development. So that's another way to do that. Yeah.
So basically, the doors are open. So it's just about not being shy to go beyond the comfort zone and try to contact people first. Or do you think it's necessary to relocate over here first, or it's possible? Do you think to handle somehow like the long distance relation?
Right. I think depending on the business you're doing, if you're an app development business, it's actually quite flexible. You can have your development team back in Europe, have your business marketing people in Beijing. But if you're a consumer packaged goods company, you might have to set up the logistics and actual physical stores in China. So so it depending on your business, of course.
Sure. Yeah, just check out these websites. You can definitely find someone to talk to. And back to the consumer experience, because I'm from the marketing field, so I'm always excited about seeing how it's possible to approach the customers and how Chinese are actually open to new technologies. We are quite conservatives in Europe, but here, anything that it's introduced to the market, it's like that, and it's widespread. Do you have any example of some feature that came to the market like this and became very popular? You already mentioned the TikTok, but maybe something within the WeChat or other platforms that Chinese love to use. Right.
For example, there's a thing called WeChat mini program. It's like an app working within an app. It's not. It doesn't exist in the European or US market.
True.
So what it is actually a small program that you can open it without downloading it from App Store or Google Play Store. You can use it for shopping, for social networking. So WeChat is definitely the most popular app Chinese people use. There's group functions like Facebook groups, but WeChat group is only limited to 500 people maxed.
500
people, yeah.
That's
max.
it.
That's it, yeah. So
Wow.
unlike Facebook group, you have like maybe 500,000 people.
Yeah, true.
But WeChat group is more small group based. So I think the benefit of that is it creates more
Closer
relationship interactions between the group members.
So you don't see it as some disadvantage that it limits your networking, for example?
Of course, there are disadvantages as well. For example, if you're a brand, if you're a company, you want to do advertising, if you send a message in a WeChat group, it's only being seen by 500 people.
Wow.
Unlike on Facebook group, it can be seen by maybe more than 500 people. But there are pros and cons for both
of course.
Platforms. And I think definitely if you want to come to China, WeChat is a platform you want to study and learn about it.
And basically, everybody was asking me, how did you make the first contacts within China? And I just said, I had to talk to the people who added me to the different kind of WeChat groups, which talk about specific topics like marketing. You can have freelancers, you have the foodies, you have people interested in hiking, and it's really amazing how quickly the doors are open, because one message and you get like 20 recommendation on anything you basically need. But the vital is to enter the right groups, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So despite your group, what kind of group are you part of?
I'm in lots of groups, some AI big data groups, IoT, and some blockchain groups. Generally tech-related groups. I'm very interested to learn about what people are talking about. I'm also in different marketing business groups. Sometimes you just got too many groups. If you cannot handle, I have to, you have to be selective.
Otherwise you're spam every second by new messages, right?
Right. So you have to choose which group you want to be in, and then find the ones that suit your needs.
Sure.
Yeah.
And if you let's say that you see China in 10 years, so do you think it's gonna go through this transformation that is planned, and China will really become the top leader of the digitalization, or what is your perspective?
Right. I mean, in terms of technology, it's not a zero-sum game, right? So all companies and countries can be successful in the future of technology. For example, in AI, the US and the European companies are very good at research, R&D. But in China, companies are very good at implementing those technologies, since there's a huge market.
Very speed. I heard that here the speed of implementation and testing, it's amazing.
Right.
You're capable to try 10 different projects within 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, the speed is very fast. So I think the only way to be successful is you combine those different advantages from different companies and countries to bring them together, so you can have a whole, holistic and then the better research and implementation together. But in terms of the China becoming the world leader, I think it's possible. Definitely, it's possible. Yeah.
So now, would you say is it the place to be at the moment if someone wants to pursue the trend of AI and digitalization and technology? Is it the Beijing place to be?
Yeah, I think Beijing is definitely the place to be. Yeah.
Amazing. So I think, guys, that if you are a little bit thinking about entering this kind of industry, you should definitely look up Devon on his LinkedIn, and maybe he can help you to share some information and connect you with some local AI and big data communities. And I hope you will stay with us, and I will come back to you again with some interesting video. See you.